This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Hello, friends. John Sober here, your host for the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Gotta let you know, today's episode is being brought to you by The Butcher Shop. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for the past 15 years. Every week, they're shipping out competition-quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams who use The Butcher Shop win, and they win often. And what are they winning with? Highly sought-after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wylara 9 Plus briskets, and as always, they are hand-picked just for you. Now, if you're not a competitor, but you still want some super fine cuts of meat, The Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who want the very best they can get their hands on. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire pork, Compard Duroc pork, Allegiance Duroc pork, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. They're going to hand-pick that out for you and get it in the mail to you. Now, you might be saying, John, all that sounds pretty fantastic, but I'd like to try something different. Well, rest assured, the Butcher Shop can get you an elk steak, a camel roast, other exotic stuff. All you got to do is give them a call. So let's review. The best competition briskets, they got that. The best pork selection, they got that. Giving you better overall options to cook at home, they're going to do that. So give the Butcher Shop a call today, 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. Mention the BBQ Central Show, and they're going to throw an additional 10% off at you. That's real money. Take advantage of that. You can also check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Butcher Shop. Shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wylara 9 Plus briskets. And today we're going to take a step back to 2014 because it's that time of year. It's just that big barbecue comp season. Let's go.
Look, we're officially in the heart of big competition barbecue season. Again, this past weekend was Sam's Club Royal. Next weekend, believe it or not, we got Jack Daniels after that. Hold on tight, boys and girls, because we're coming in hot and heavy with the big gun competition. Speaking of the Royal, no better person to talk to about that event than the proprietor of Brand Solutions Group. We welcome back to the show, Jennifer Brand. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. I am so excited. Not tired quite yet. We got 4 more days to go. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a whirlwind, right?
Absolutely. It's the largest one. We always say that every year. We have the world's largest barbecue, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. So again, world's largest barbecue.
Well, so here's the question that perhaps is begging to be asked. When, I just lost
You're moving my Skype video around.
I know.
Okay.
Sometimes it works outstandingly well, and then other times you got to make adjustments on the fly, and it doesn't work outstandingly. Nevertheless, if next year, because it grew again this year, if next year it wasn't the biggest barbecue, do you become leery, scared, wondering what has happened? And when you have year after year after year growth, or do you really not see any potential of that happening?
I can't see, never say never, right? But I really can't see any time in the near future us ever saying that again, because we have, I think 568 teams so far this year, and we're running out of space. There's already a waiting list. So if anybody drops out for whatever reason that may be, we have plenty of teams waiting in the wings ready to take their spot. And it's been like that for years. So we borrow land and rent land on the perimeters to kind of add more teams in. And they've got a whole good staff of people kind of working around the clock throughout the year, figuring out how can we squeeze in a little bit more here and a little bit more there, but still do justice to the teams that have been there for years and years. So yeah, to answer the question, I think we're going to keep getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger every year that we grow.
I'm not familiar with exactly how the literal landscape is set up, but is there unused land anywhere around there that the organization or the American Royal entity would want to buy up and mow down just as flat competition land?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, sure, right?
There's some railroad tracks. So kind of the cool special part about it, it's in the old historic stockyards of Kansas City. So the Royal's been around for 115 years and really got its base as agriculture and livestock, which is the heart of Kansas City. So the railroad tracks came in, the railroad trains came in to take the cattle and the beef and the pigs and the sheep all across the country for years and years and decades and nearly over a century. And then it had a big flood. I forget what year it was, but the historians will tell you. And kind of demolished those little river bottom areas down there. So the American Royals owned that property for a long time. And they built Kemper Arena. They have a big sports arena there.
Yep.
There's a lot going on in Kansas City about whether to keep that or tear that down or build that over. You guys can Google that and see what's in the news about it. So for what I see of the next few years of the barbecue, it's always going to be on that same property in that same spot. Unless something happens like it did to Memphis in May a couple of years ago and just torrential rains come in or whatever, Mother Nature doesn't cooperate, I might have to put it somewhere else. But it's always been right there on the grounds. 54 acres.
Yeah,
of
54.
barbecue.
And then, of course, this is the 35th year of the World Series of Barbecue. Before maybe I ask you, a little brief history of how it got started, like how are you involved with the American Royal yourself?
So I grew up, born in Tennessee, so raised on that Memphis barbecue, but mostly after my teenage years lived in Missouri. And everybody all over the state talks about the American Royal, mostly for the rodeo or the livestock. So I kind of grew up in the horse world and always heard the amazing things about the American Royal. And went to law school here in Kansas City, so I got to experience it firsthand for myself as a paying customer. I loved the rodeo and watching the cowboys. That's totally fun. On the bull riders. But other than that, the barbecue is kind of not totally in full swing, but had been around for 10 to 15 years or so at that time. So maybe 5 or 6 years ago, my buddies at Pork Barrel Barbecue, we're going to compete at the Royal for the first time. And I said, shoot, yeah, I'm going with you. That's Kansas City. That's my turf too. Let's do it. And of course, we were really good about having the TV cameras around and doing a lot of marketing for them. The Royal kind of saw that and said, maybe we could use some of that Jen brand. Come help us. So I've been doing it with them for a few years now. And I absolutely love it. I mean, they're good people. They have a good cause. It's different than any other contest I know. I mean, there's a lot of guys listening tonight who put on contests or they're contest organizers and have competed in contests across the country. And some of them have, scholarships that they raise money for, or they do it for a charity or for a donation. And I just think that's amazing. There's some that do it for profit, and that's totally great. But to have something with such a rich history in Kansas City where barbecue really all got started in the United States anyways, everything they do is just raising money to give it back for kids and youth and agriculture and hopefully to get them into barbecue too.
Absolutely. So in regards to this specific year, is there anything new that's going to be happening, or is it going to be kind of the same old thing that's been going on?
Hey, you want to hear the rest of the show? Head on over to the BBQCentralShow.com. Link in today's show notes is going to take you to the complete episode. I know you're going to love it. I absolutely know you're going to love it. Go check that out. If you don't love it, let me know. Drop me an email and say, I didn't love it. Tell me why you didn't love it. Or tell me why you did love it. Get a hold of me at John, John, at the BBQCentralShow.com. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I am your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.